You know, I completely shit my pants.
Honestly had no idea whether the launch would completely flop. Like many things that I'd done before, it could have totally failed.
But when he said to me, Cal.com, I'm like, Cal, as in C-O-W, like moo cow.
Also ich muss mal spontan sagen, dass immer gerne mal die Zeit verpennt hat.
Vielleicht war das auch ein Anlass, dass eigentlich mal ein ordentliches System auf seinem Handy hat.
Venture capital money? Wow, that definitely sounds like a scam.
Bailey, you're turning 18 in 3 weeks. Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, so? And I was like...
You know, at that time in my life, all I wanted to do was just try as many different things as possible.
We got product of the day on Product Hunt, product of the week, product of the month, I think third product of the year. And that was really the origin story.
And then when he said about this man from Germany, Pierre, I'm like, okay, yeah, but what do you know about him? But how do you, like, how old is he? How do you know he's not a 50, 60-year-old man that's like grooming you?
People want to become customers, partners, investors. We have, I think, even at some point, Fortune 500 companies reaching out that they want to like self-host it themselves. And we were like, well, fuck, what do we do now?
As I was in there, the moment of realization actually struck me, and I was like, wow, this could be an actual business. This could be something that could pay my salary.
If you're a yoga teacher, use Cal.com. If you're a doctor, use Cal.com. If you're a plumber, use Cal.com. My name is Pierre. I'm one of the co-founders of Cal.com, and I recently moved back to my parents' farm.
I'm Bailey Pumfleet. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cal.com, and we build scheduling software for everyone from individuals to the largest corporations and governments.
Well, when he learnt to walk, he just got up from crawling and just walked.
Yeah,
Didn't he?
no in-between stage.
Wasn't the couple of steps falling over, couple of steps falling over. That's junior school.
If he,
I think that's the one he didn't want me to buy.
whatever he's done, he's always done it 110%. That is another thing, isn't it? As a young, really young, like, I don't know, 15, 16, normal kids are wearing like tracksuits and things like that. He always wanted to dress up in a suit. He loved dressing up smart.
We're not pushy parents, far from it. If he wanted to empty dustbins, that's fine. He could earn, £10,000 a year to 100,000. It wouldn't bother me as long as he's happy.
He does live for it, Cal.com.
Yeah.
Every time he talks to you, something about Cal.com, because he lives for it. He's found, it's like he's won the lottery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cal.com is like the lottery winner. He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
They've all done brilliantly.
Yeah. Oh, to build a company from nothing in a bedroom upstairs in a house.
One in Germany, one in England.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Two worlds apart, and they've built this company and it's doing fantastic. So it's unbelievable, really. It really is.
I was always raised to be very punctual, and so I suppose there is a little bit of time-driven culture within me. I'm always the guy that's like 5 minutes early, or if not, I'm going to be exactly on time to the second. And I think as well, just like the preciseness of time is something that always fascinates me. My parents have shaped who I am today in a very, very major way. And it's not always something that I've consciously realized, but especially as I start to have more conversations and people ask me questions and it makes me be a bit more introspective, I realize so many parallels. So, on one hand, there is the whole thing that my mum was always very was very insistent on being like 5 minutes early or, you know, being extremely punctual to things. So of course, to some degree, that did influence the whole, you know, time thing.
Doing that, it does show, when you think about it, it does show that what you drummed into them as babies all the way through, this time you've got to be on this time, this time, this time. Looks like that's what he's doing at work. He's booking all these time slots. So
yeah, so actually I should take some credit for Cal.com.
yeah.
Ja, vom Haus ist hier ein bisschen, aber die Rasselbande.
Das ist auch süß hier, ne? Das ist jetzt die Wohnung, wo Peer und Esther und Rio wohnen. Ne? Das
Genau,
Teil.
die Fenster da hinten.
Vom Garten aus gesehen.
Im Abi-Buch steht, dass er Google-Geschäftsführer werden will, dann fand ich das schon sehr spektakulär. Vielleicht auch nicht ganz ernst genommen, vielleicht auch mal gedacht, Mensch, ein Bauer wird er nicht. Und ich habe es ja bei unseren Kindern sehr früh gemerkt, dass keiner richtig Landwirtschaft machen wollte, was ja auf dem Bauernhof durchaus eine nicht unwichtige Sache ist in dem Moment, wenn man den Hof weitergeben will. So, und da er als einziger Sohn sehr früh das schon deutlich machte, war für mich, na gut, dann muss er eben was anderes machen. Und wenn
Also
er
es gibt einen Satz, den habe ich dir aber nie erzählt. Er hat mal gesagt, Papa hat immer so schmutzige Hände durch die Arbeit und ich möchte gerne saubere Hände haben. Also für ihn war das sehr beeindruckend, dass du als Landwirt so viel mehr körperlich praktisch sein musstest. Und er war auch vom Körperbau her eher ein schmaler Junge, als er klein war. Und hat sich dann auch nicht so in diesem kraftvollen Durchboxen, Durchsetzen auf dem Bauernhof wieder gesehen. Da kam dieses Filigrane, dieses künstlerisch-technische, hat einfach viel mehr Raum bei ihm eingenommen. Und das haben wir einfach auch zugelassen und nicht gesagt, du musst jetzt aber in den Stall, du musst jetzt die Tiere füttern, du musst Trecker fahren, sondern eher, du kannst.
Was er vielleicht von uns auch durch die Situation auf dem Hof gelernt hat, ist, dass er diese Selbstständigkeit, die wir ihm vorgelebt haben mussten oder müssen, dass er die auch wahrgenommen hat. Das heißt, Selbstständigkeit in deinem, was du tust, aber auch die Verantwortung für das, was du tust, hat er sicherlich da auch mitgelernt. Hoffe ich jedenfalls.
Ja, absolut, sonst würde er ja auch nicht Entscheidungen treffen können und müssen. Dann würde er sagen, ich gehe als Angestellter.
Genau, selbstständig gehen, das hat er sicherlich damit aufgenommen. Das Wichtige war dann dieses halbe Jahr in Amerika. Da hat er wichtige betriebswirtschaftliche, rechtliche, steuerliche, keine Ahnung, das ganze Thema aufgearbeitet oder gelernt, was ihm jetzt nützt in seiner Geschäftsführertätigkeit natürlich. Das war schon wichtig für ihn. Und diesen Werdegang, der ist ein Glücksfall.
Oh, ich bin nun Bauernsohn und ich muss Bauer werden, weil Vater und Muttern wollen das. Nein, er ging seinen Weg und hat Stück für Stück sich auch die Technik kreativ eröffnet, weil ihm das Spaß gemacht hat. Und ich glaube, Spaß ist die stärkste Antriebsfeder, um einfach auch ein glücklicher Mensch zu sein.
Naja, seitdem er geboren war, hatte ich einen Computer. Und ich war einer der ersten Bauern, die tatsächlich mit dem Computer gearbeitet haben. Und insofern war das für ihn kein Feind oder nichts Neues.
Es war ein sehr spannender Moment, weil er hat mich um Rat gefragt. Mama, darf ich das jetzt hier einfach mal auseinanderbauen? Weil wenn das nämlich nicht funktioniert, dann ist die Garantie weg und dann ist das Ding kaputt. Und dann haben wir beide gesessen und gesagt, probier es doch einfach. Vielleicht funktioniert es ja. Und es hat funktioniert. Und dann haben andere Schulkollegen gefragt, kannst du das bei meinem Gerät nicht auch machen? Ja.
Ich sage, jetzt will keiner den Hof haben. Dann verkaufe ich ihn. So, und dann war zufällig vor 2 Jahren Peer und Esther das erste Mal über den Winter oder Monate da. Und ich habe gesagt, wir hatten dann uns entschlossen, den Hof zu verkaufen. Und dann sagte er, du, wenn du es verkaufen willst, das wäre sehr schade. Wir würden auch gerne hier bleiben.
Yeah, I pretty much moved back to the farm. My wife and I, or fiance and I, we decided to leave big cities. Eventually, it was like opening up the possibility for me to actually invest in the farm and to take over and buy it and do something with it. And then, you know, Esther and I, we really just enjoyed it. We really vibed. We really got along on the farm, and in Denmark, you say like the hygge life is like a comfortable, relaxing life that doesn't have much craziness. So the story behind meeting Bailey is pretty interesting because I was not really planning to start a scheduling business. And, you know, going back to how the whole product started was I was running this marketplace with where I needed a good scheduling infrastructure. That's really what I was building it for, right? The connecting contractors with companies. And when I realized that, you know, this is an open source project that can be beneficial for others, you know, I put it on GitHub, and I had like this wait list where people could sign up for to be notified when it's launching.
I decided to sign up for the waitlist because I figured I should be a bit cautious about going ahead and building this myself if somebody else already is. So I signed up for the waitlist, and at the time, Pierre was working on another startup, and that startup actually got acquired by another company. So he went on as part of like an acqui-hire to then join that other company as a head of product. And so he no longer had time to work on this side scheduling project. And so what he did is he sent out an email to the waitlist, and he said, I'm looking for somebody to take this over. And, you know, I don't have time for this anymore, but I'm sure there's somebody that's going to be like keen enough to want to tackle this. And yeah, he wanted to sort of like hand over the reins to someone. So I immediately responded to the email.
And I think within 3 minutes or so, it was really quick. I got this email, you know, Bailey Pumfleet. I checked his website, I checked his email, and it was really solid. You know, I didn't know how old he was, I didn't know who he was, but I was like, okay, let's jump on a call. And I met some other people, I think about 5 calls or so. And I was like, okay, this Bailey dude, he seems pretty solid. And I offered him some kind of like, what is it called, like initial project. Like, okay, I pay you a full salary from some of the earnings I had from the sale. And if you want to keep working on it, just like run with it.
That did worry us.
Yeah.
Because obviously you hear of horror stories, people being groomed.
All he told us, first of all, wasn't it? He said Pierre, like Pierre's name, didn't he? He said Pierre. I said, who's he? He said, he's a bloke in Germany. He's contacted me and wants me to do some work for him. He's gonna sort of sort me out. And we was like, no.
How old is he?
I said, have you ever met him? I said, is this like an old bloke is he grooming you? I said, you got Bailey, you got to be careful. No, it's all good.
I know what I'm doing.
We was panicked. We was like, who is this Pierre? Like, we didn't know. But he said, no, he's really good. He's like, he knows what he's doing. And we was worried for a long time, weren't we?
Yeah, because then he done some work for Pierre, didn't he?
Yep.
And Pierre paid him and like, have you been paid? Yes, Mum, it's okay. The money's in. Right, okay, we can trust him on that. But then it's like...
I must admit, at first, I thought it was a scam, didn't I?
I think one of the most incredible things about how mine and Pierre's relationship has developed is we're both very honest and direct people. And so I think that there's always a lot of trust that we could build up very quickly. And that doesn't just apply to like the general trust of starting a company with someone, but also the trust of day-to-day operations. You know, as co-founders, we really do have to just put faith in each other to, you know, execute in certain areas, that I should be able to take a 2-week vacation and know that I'm going to trust the decisions that he makes. And I think that for both of us, having that real compatibility where, you know, we don't speak in any corporate bureaucratic lingo, but instead we just tell each other exactly what we think, and that makes a lot of like the sort of like ideation and decision-making processes very fast. We disagree sometimes, and when we disagree, it's not how you'd imagine to be some kind of crazy argument, but because we're so honest and, you know, act very objectively rather than emotionally, I think that just creates like the most frictionless experience. There are so many things where like one of us might suggest an idea and the other one says, no, that's a bad idea. I think that because this, and this. And we're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And so it really unlocks like a whole level of collaboration when, you know, you can kind of deal with someone and they can deal with you in a very sort of objective and rational manner. And so I think it was really that, because to be honest, otherwise, how are you going to know whether you can, you know, trust somebody that you've never met? It's really just, you know, you judge them on the merits of their character. And I think that's pretty much what the both of us did.
He landed on a Monday, and I was out on Sunday with some friends at like a Mexican place. And, you know, I'm a German, Mexican food can be heavy. And I just remember that, like, I pick him up from the airport, I go by bike. It was pretty close to my apartment. And, you know, we start talking and getting to know each other, like, in person. Of course, we've been working together for quite some time. And I'm just like, oh, Bailey, I think I have to go. Like, you know, my stomach was turning. And, you know, because of the Mexican food I had the day earlier. So I take my bike and I'm like, Bailey, you know my address, but I have to go. So I just took the bike and I tried to like drive to the closest restaurant or so to like, you know, make myself a bit lighter. And I just start driving and I just realized that like while I was driving, you know, I completely shit my pants. And, you know, warm weather, Canary Islands, so luckily I was just wearing swim shorts or something very light. But like, bro, you could not make a better story. Like, first day you meet in person, and I drive home on the bike and I just like completely shit myself. So I drive home to my apartment, like I put everything in the washing machine and take a shower. And I text Bailey like, and he was obviously walking, right? So he took an hour to come to my apartment. I'm like, Bailey, I'm so sorry. I just shit myself. And so that was the beginning. That was the first day we met.